Bringing Katie Pavlich, townhall.com editor and Fox News contributor, and Kevin Walling, HG creative partner and former Biden 2020 campaign surrogate. Kevin, let me start with you. And while I do, let's put these numbers up on the screen. This is the latest polling from Siena College, which shows that, as I said, Biden won New York by plus 23. Now he's up only plus 10. That's a pretty big drop. Do you think that there is an opportunity for the former President Trump in New York?
Martha, absolutely. I think the former president should focus on New York, pull resources from battleground states like Florida, like Pennsylvania, like Michigan, and devote it all to the Empire State, where he can take on Joe Biden, who won that state by more than 2 million votes last go-round. So absolutely, Donald Trump, please focus on New York.
Katie, obviously Kevin's a bit sarcastic there, but I think he's probably actually quite literal. He'd love for Trump to spend all his time in New York, but really, there is a lot of demographic shift going on in a lot of places. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, you could argue that Lee Zeldin didn't win the governorship in New York against Kathy Hochul because all the Republicans in New York already fled to Florida as a result of the Democratic policies in that state. And I've talked to a number of Republican operatives who are working in New York City. You have them working all over the state, and they might not need Trump to pull any resources in because they're motivated, and they're seeing that a lot of the local issues that they're seeing, whether it's crime or the legal migrant crisis, which gets worse every single day with the city having to cut resources, the state not knowing what to do about it, and people's kids getting kicked out of their soccer fields and their schools to make way for these people and for public safety budgets to get cut as a result of that. They see a huge opportunity here for voter turnout on these issues with demographics that typically vote for Democrats but are fed up with the lack of results on these key issues that they're paying for.
Well, New York voted for Reagan way back when, and the South used to be solidly Democrat. So you do see these shifts that happen every 20, 25 years as demographics change in the country. So we'll see what happens. This is a moment that's getting not great attention for President Biden that happened on Wednesday when he was reading a prompter. Let's just take a look at this.
Folks, imagine what we can do next. 4 more years. Pause.
4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years.
Oh, Kevin.
Listen, Martha, it was actually a great speech. I know that we're making a lot of that pause comment, but listen, that room was packed full of the building trades. I watched the speech live. You've got carpenters, you've got the operating engineers. These are the people rebuilding this country that are fired up about the president's infrastructure bill, fired up about the CHIPS bill. He's campaigning on that in the state of New York, actually at this very moment. So if that's the takeaway for the speech, that's fine. But listen, that speech fired up those workers, those blue-collar workers that are standing shoulder to shoulder with the president, are going to re-elect him in less than 7 months.
Well, we can see the battle for the blue-collar worker playing out with the union representatives today, and then you see it in that Biden speech. They're locked in 46% each, so it is a very tight race by a lot of polling. Katie, quick thought before we go?
Well, I think the worst part about, besides the saying pause in the prompter for the president, everything being so controlled and he still can't deliver, is the White House transcript now saying that it was inaudible. So they know it was a gaffe. They went through to try and clean up the transcript to get rid of that mistake. And it just shows the American people that the president can't just deliver remarks without making these big gaffes, and that maybe he's not the one fully in charge of what he's doing every day.
Well, it says pause all the time in there. You would think he would have noticed it a lot. But, as you say, Kevin, you read it differently from the room. And it is a very tight race. So we'll see where it goes. So my prompter says that it's goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.
Good to see you both. That is the story for Thursday.